Hey, welcome back to the Big Ranch Show. As always, thank you for joining me. If you could, hit that subscribe button down below. Let's get right to it. Now, somebody brought it to my attention yesterday that maybe, just maybe, I'm being too harsh on the Santa Fe, Texas shooter from last Friday who killed 10 people, 9 students, 1 teacher, wounded 2 law enforcement officers. That I was being too harsh when I said he was a loser, not a victim. People are claiming he's a victim. Mostly his father is claiming that he's a victim. We should see him as a victim, just like the people he murdered. Because people were mean to him. People weren't nice to him. Now the thing is, they're claiming bullying is the reason here. Bullying did not cause this. Bullying did not cause 10 people to be dead. A loser made that happen. So this claim that he was bullied is a bunch of bullshit. One person made the claim that some coaches and a few students around the coach in the locker room had said something bad about him. Mostly about how he stank. Because he didn't bathe. Whose fault is that? That he didn't bathe. That he stank. That's right. That was his fault. That's something he could have fixed. To me, bullying is when it's something you can't control. A coach saying, hey, you smell, isn't bullying. Now, that's all they ever said. They didn't say anybody else said anything else about him, hardly. They said coaches and a few students. That doesn't mean 10 people should die. That doesn't mean anybody should die. So do I see the guy as the kid as a victim? Hell no, I don't see him as a victim. He took the lives of 10 people. I didn't hear of one coach being shot. I heard about an art teacher, a girl whose mother said she turned him down or turned down his romantic advances just about a week before the shooting. Now, we don't know if that's true either. Now, I made some comments on social media that maybe he was one of those incel losers. And maybe I was a little quick to judgment there. I'll admit, maybe I was wrong. Because I found out later that the mother hadn't really been in the girl's life, and she wouldn't really have had first-hand knowledge of that. So maybe I was wrong there. But this kid that claimed that he was bullied by a few people, he said a few people. A coach and a few students. Well, one, if you have a problem with an adult in your school, take it to your school. Take it to your principal. If they don't do something about it, take it to the damn school board. I got made fun of all the damn time as a kid. Nowhere in the claim that this kid was bullied, they say he was ever physically harmed by anybody. People said terrible things about me as a kid. All the time. About something I could not control. The fact that I was weaker than everybody else, that I couldn't run like everybody else, that I couldn't walk like everybody else did, that I couldn't play football or sports like everybody else could. I got made fun of all the time for that kind of shit. Things I had no control over. From the one report we've had, this kid had an option. He could have bathed. Now, I'm not saying they should have kept ridiculing the kid, and they shouldn't have. If it turned into bullying, then fine. There's a problem, and we need to deal with that. Bullying has gotten to epidemic proportions in our schools, and it's terrible. But to sit there and blame every damn school shooting on a bully victim, saying, oh, he was bullied, it seems like it's what they say every goddamn time. And then we find out later down the road, he was the bully. Take the guy in Parkland. He was the bully. The students say he was a bully. There are students that said they knew when, as soon as the gunshots were fired, they figured it was him because of the things he'd been doing to people. And the further we get out on this guy, the more we're learning. The more that maybe he wasn't, maybe he wasn't pissed off about being spurned by some girl. But it sure would make sense that she was one of the first people he killed. Because the first place he went was to her classroom, where she was in art class. Killed the teacher, killed the girl, killed a guy that was trying to hold the door shut so he couldn't get in. So don't sit there and tell me that he was some freaking victim. That he deserves my damn sympathy, because he doesn't. He deserves the damn death penalty. That's what he deserves. That is my opinion. He killed innocent children. I don't care if he was 17 years old and considered a child himself. Here in Texas, 17 is technically an adult. You can face adult charges at 17 in Texas. So to sit there and tell me that he's some victim, like I told the person that told me this, that this kid was a victim. No, the victims are those 10 people that lay dead in that school Friday morning. Those are the victims. Those are the people we should have sympathy for and mourn and sympathy for their families. I have no sympathy for this kid. I would have held sympathy or empathy for the parents. But then the father went off and it's like, oh, my son's a victim. What is it with people always playing the damn victim card? If I had done something like this back when I was a kid, they wouldn't have said, oh, he was bullied. All you would have heard was, he was so nice, I would have never thought he could do that. They wouldn't have talked about the fact that I was bullied my entire damn life. And yes, I take offense to it. Because he killed children. And if there's one thing you should notice by watching my videos, I care a lot about children and their safety. And if you kill them, I have no sympathy for you. I don't care why you killed them. I don't care. You kill children, I have no sympathy for you. I will never care. It's like the Sharon Matthews case. I am still, to this day, pained by what happened to that little girl. And I will always fight for justice for children who were victims of violence. Always. I do not support bullying in any way, shape, or form. I do not. And so don't even sit there and think that I support people bullying people from 1 second. I want to make that very clear right now. I do not support bullies, and I believe we need to do something to end the epidemic of bullying in our schools. But when somebody goes off and kills 10, 15, 20 people, don't sit there and tell me they're a victim because they got bullied. That's a personal damn choice. Someone bullying you and you killing them for bullying you, that is a personal choice. That is a choice you made. So to those of you out there that are getting bullied, let me give you some advice from somebody who was bullied his entire school time, school life, and have been bullied since. Not very often as an adult, but it does happen. One, find an outlet. Write. Join a band. Find something that you love, that you enjoy, to put your frustration into. Take karate classes. Join, do mixed martial arts training if you want to. Start a band, write a book, write music, read comic books. There are always outlets. There's no need for violence. There's never a need for that. So to y'all that are being bullied out there, let me tell you, it goes away. It at least lessens. You're always going to have somebody out there, some asshole, that's going to tell you you're not good enough, or that you're not good enough for this reason or that reason, or you're a bad person because of this or that. It's always going to happen. There's always that asshole. But there's no reason to resort to violence over it. By resorting to violence, you are no better than the person bullying you. If people are physically harming you, then say something. Okay? Say something to somebody. If nobody does anything about it, then I suggest self-defense classes. Like I said, karate, mixed martial arts, things like that. But not things that are going to kill people. You gotta stand up for yourself, but you don't have to murder people. There's no reason for that. There's no reason to murder people just because they're bullying you or saying mean things to you. And if it's just words, if they're just verbally, saying, verbally bullying you, let it roll off your back. Don't let it bother you. Take whatever hurt, whatever pain that you feel from those words and do something with them. Write a story. Write a book. Write some music. Write poetry if you want to. Some of the best things I've ever written came during a time of pain and anguish. A time that I felt terrible. That I felt people hated me. Some of the best things I've ever written came from the time that while I was in junior high and high school. And some of the times that I faced some rather rough times as an adult. There's always solutions. You don't have to resort to murder. If you have to end up fighting back, that's one thing. I personally support a nonviolent approach, but if you have to defend yourself, you should. But it should not be with a deadly reaction. There's no reason for that. And to those of you that are bullying people out there, realize that sooner or later, you're going to meet your match. Sooner or later, someone's going to end up bullying you, and you're not going to like it. And if that doesn't change your mind, then how about this? Most of the people that bullied me, they didn't do anything with their life. And I suggest you change your ways. The world has enough assholes, enough jerks, enough bullies, enough pieces of crap. And try to beat, instead of beating people down and running them down with your words and punching them, hurting them and shit like that. How about you actually try to build people up? How about you actually try to help people? Just because somebody is weaker than you or less fortunate than you does not give you a right to treat them like dirt. Just because somebody likes something different than you doesn't give you the right to beat them up. I have too many friends that I see on Facebook right now who seem like they're almost in tears over the bullying that their child is facing. Now, I can't see the reactions, But you can tell from the emotion in the stories they keep telling over and over again that clearly their children are hurting, and it's hurting them as parents. Nobody should have to go through that. Nobody should have to live through that kind of pain. At the end of the day, the very last thing I have to say goes to everybody that's around the people being bullied and the bullies. If you see someone being bullied, stop it. Stand up for the person. If someone's being physically abused while by a bully, if you can't, if you're of the ability to do so, get in between them. Stop it. That's the only thing that saved me from really getting my ass beat one afternoon. I was walking out of a math classroom in a portable building back into our school. And apparently, somewhere down the road, I pissed off a bully. He'd been a problem, been verbally abusive to me, picking on me the entire school year. One time a spring semester, I was walking out, heading back into the building, and he blindsides me. Get this. At the time, I'm about a 5'2", 5'5" now. I was about a 5'2" gimpish guy, waddling around like a damn penguin because I could barely walk. And instead of facing me like a man, face to face, he had to blindside me. Proof cowards are bullies. Or bullies are cowards. Sorry. That's what that proves. And what happened? Somebody stood up for me. One of my friends stepped up and said, leave him alone. And then shortly after that, before he could get away, principals were there, and he was off to alternative school. It always helps to have friends, I know. But even if you're not a friend of somebody being bullied, don't let it happen. Don't sit there and watch them suffer. If you can do something about it, stop it. And if you can't stop it, go say something to somebody. If you see somebody being bullied, report it to the office. Report it to the principal. If they don't listen, keep reporting it. And if they don't do nothing about it, then you definitely have to do something. You have to step up and stand up for these people. But as for this shooter in Santa Fe, Texas, you're no victim. The victims are the 10 people you left dead in that school. Those are the victims. You are a loser. Simply put. This has been The Big Rant Show. I've been your host, Jacob Keck. If you disagree with me, leave your comments down below. But I can tell you right now, I'm probably not going to respond to anything that's, wants to disagree with me, because I've already laid forth my opinion here. My opinion's not going to change. You can post it. You can post things that disagree. I'll see and tell me why you disagree. And if as long as it's something that is pertinent, then maybe I'll respond. Anyhow, to those of you that are being bullied, I'm sorry. Find a way to stand up for yourself if you have to. Find outlets. But whatever you do, don't kill people over it. It's not worth it. Don't let bullies ruin your life. Sometimes in life you're going to have to grow a thick skin. And I'm sorry that that's the case. But you don't have to kill people over it. It's not worth it. So to those of you that are being bullied, I'm sorry, and I hope you get the help you need. And to the school districts out there that aren't doing anything to stop bullies, you need to do something about it. It's partly your job. Your job is to keep the kids safe. But anyhow, y'all have a great day if you can. I'll see you down the road. And my thoughts and prayers go out to the people out in Hawaii dealing with that volcano. Anyhow, y'all have a great day. See you down the road.